Well, thank you for dropping things in the chat. I think it'll be interesting to sort of see, any questions that come out of our brief presentation. This is super casual. Our format will just be presentation, and then we'll drop the screen and we will sort of move into a Q&A, just to give folks a layout of what we're going to get into over the next hour. Welcome, Melanie. Hi, Adam. Hi, Lisa. Again, for anyone just joining, we're asking everyone if you're able to come on video. If not, no pressure. And to introduce yourself and your product and why you're sort of interested in getting involved with this program or the Fancy Food Show in general, as we get started. So I think we can dive into it. I'm going to keep my eye on the waiting room, and feel free to keep dropping things in the chat. We do have Kirsten monitoring the Q&A, or just the chat. We don't really have a Q&A. So yeah, any questions that come up for you, feel free to drop them down, save them for the Q&A at the end. Or if you want to pop them in the chat, we do have someone watching that. So definitely utilize the chat. But I think we're good. The waiting room's been empty for a little bit, so I think we're gonna get into it. And yeah, keep using the chat. Thanks, everyone. So welcome. I am Abby Kapaleski. I work at Craft. I'm joined by my colleague Nicolette and Kirsten as well. And we are sort of the ones organizing this program, alongside the work of the Regional Food Business Center. And we'll get into that. So why are we here today? This beautiful program called Mountain to Market. And that looks like a lot of different things, which is exactly what we're going to talk about. But this is a program of the Appalachia Regional Food Business Center, which we're going to just give you a really general background on that. Like I said, this is me. These are my pals who I get to work with. And we are the ones sort of organizing this program, just for some context. And the actual center is made up of many, many more people, besides just the three of us. But for the sake of today, those are the faces to familiarize yourself with, and names. So what is the Regional Food Business Center? They are a program of the USDA. Overall, they were established to drive economic opportunities across the region, creating a more diversified and resilient food system. There are 12 throughout the entire country, covering each part of the region, and Craft is one of 16 partners that creates the Appalachia Regional Food Business Center, and sort of the Western Pennsylvania rep. The centers do a lot of different things. Overall, they are designed to create opportunities specifically for our region, which can mean throughout Appalachia, but also even for just Western Pennsylvania. Maximize locally driven investment impact, complement and support the other USDA programs in collaboration within the USDA. And overall, this is the region that we're serving. And like I said, there are many other partners that help cover this region. And for that piece of PA, which this map isn't even totally correct, but that's okay. The piece of PA that we're looking at is sort of where Craft is homed. Alongside the Regional Food Business Center stuff, there's technical assistance, there's Business Builder Subawards, which some of you have probably heard about or met with us about. We don't want to get too in the weeds on any of this today, but this program is sort of made possible through the Regional Food Business Center. We have our own website. We talk about it all the time in our newsletter. If you have any questions about what the Regional Food Business Center is, or what grant opportunities there are within it, feel free to reach out, and we can definitely talk about that another time or towards the end of the meeting. But now for the fun stuff. So we have this new program called Mountain to Market, Producer Pathways to Success, which has been fun to sort of think about. And we are not the lead thinkers in this space. There are other regional food business centers already doing this work. But really, the heart of this program is to get more food products onto the market, especially within Appalachia and our region. So overall, this program is being led by Craft, which at Craft, we are based within Chatham University. Overall, this program is designed to empower and equip you, regional producers, with tools, knowledge, and connections to navigate the specialty food industry, which looks like a lot of different things, which we'll get into. And sort of throughout this program, there'll be a variety of different hands-on workshops, mentorship, networking opportunities, and overall, this program will get you ready to bring your product to market. And then high level, what is the Specialty Food Association, or SFA? We'll throw acronyms in here and we'll use them throughout the program, so it's good to familiarize ourselves now. Super brief, the SFA is a leading trade organization dedicated to connecting specialty food producers, retailers, industry professionals. Over 70 years of experience, SFA has helped members succeed in the food industry through resources, education, support, while fostering innovation and quality in the food sector, specialty food sector. And a sort of program of theirs is the Fancy Food Show. Many of you may have heard of it. Some of you, maybe this is your first time hearing of it. The way I was introduced to the Fancy Food Show was it's the cool conference that you get to go to and eat a lot of food. So that's like a win. So beyond that, though, these are really high level premier events hosted by the SFA. And they bring thousands of exhibitors, producers, buyers, folks within every sort of level of the food industry together to showcase and discover the latest trends, products, innovations in the specialty food sector. This event is held twice a year. So there's a Winter Fancy Food Show, which is held in Las Vegas. It's a bit smaller. And then there's the Summer Fancy Food Show, which is most relevant to our region, located in New York. And that, again, happens in the summer. These are huge events, they're trade shows, and the networking and exposure opportunities are really one of a kind, especially for folks like yourselves who are looking to bring a specialty food product to market, or just generally gain more information and understanding and connections within the specialty food industry. Ultimately, the heart of this program, like I had said, the Summer Fancy Food Show is the one that is most relevant to the work that we're doing within the Appalachia Regional Food Business Center. These markets are most tied to the regions where we're located, the region where we're located, and where all of you are making your product. So high level details off the bat, the Summer Fancy Food Show is in New York City, June 29th through July 1st this year. And so ultimately, which we'll get into, the program, the sort of goal of this program is to get food producers throughout our region to exhibit at the Incubator Village at the Summer Fancy Food Show. But quickly, we'll take a small detour. So there is also the Winter Fancy Food Show, like I had mentioned. It's located in Las Vegas, and it is January 19th through the 21st, so next month of next year, because we're in December somehow. This program does provide you the opportunity to go to the Winter Fancy Food Show for folks who are interested. This is, you know, we'll get into this in the next slides, but this is pretty much a discovery mission. There isn't an exhibiting opportunity. It'll just be sort of to go see what it is, see how it's done, see what's going on, more on the West Coast regarding trends and so on. So if you're interested in the program and can't make this Winter Fancy Food Show or don't have interest, that's totally okay. And everything will still be very relevant. If some of you are like, I really want to get to this Winter Fancy Food Show, I'm really interested in summer as well, this is all still going to be relevant for you too. Or if you're only interested in the Winter Fancy Food Show, that is just fine as well. So cool. I think I'm going to hand it over to Nicolette.
All right, so the way that we're explaining this is like through pathways, right? So, all roads lead to the summer show. We're taking a detour at the winter show, and we're doing this within two pathways. So, pathway one is the winter show and preparation for the summer show. So, your commitment for this is to attend the Winter Fancy Food Show with team members from Craft. Um, expect some check-ins at the show. So we won't be doing any sort of planning when it comes to your travel, but expect us to kind of be with you throughout the show. You can explore the show by yourself or with our group. We will most likely get a dinner together for everybody that's coming as well. Before the show, we're expecting everybody to attend a logistics meeting January 14th at 5:30 p.m. before the show, or just watch the recording just to make sure we're all on the same page before we go. And then after that, attending virtual meetings starting in February to prepare for exhibiting at the summer show. So this opportunity is going to be best for people that feel like they want to experience one of these shows before exhibiting at the summer show. Additionally, businesses that are poised to just jump right in and are like good travelers, comfortable, just like heading off to Vegas in like a month. And that thinks that some inspiration from the winter show are really going to help inform them about the summer show. And then also a business that isn't sure if this is the right time or the right direction. So like I think that it would be really great for someone to head to this winter show and say, oh, this is not what I want. Like I don't want this level of distribution. I'm not ready for this, or this isn't something that's happening in my business. And that's great. I would rather have somebody take a look at that and say, this isn't right, than attempt to take a bunch of time and a bunch of money to attend an exhibit at the summer show and then realize that it's not the best opportunity for them. So with that, we are going to be paying a small stipend to offset some of the costs for the businesses. I think we're comfortable taking up to 10 businesses. If you have a business partner and you're traveling with them, that's fantastic. It would just be $250 per business. And then your costs would be the registration for the event, travel, accommodations, and meals. As Abby mentioned, you will eat well at this event, so you probably won't have to buy lunches. It's a small thing, but just something to think about when you're thinking about the financial piece of this. I will talk about Specialty Food Association membership in a different slide, but getting that membership now will reduce or eliminate the entry cost. Right now it costs, I think, about $80 to actually just attend the show. But if you are planning on doing the summer show, and getting the SFA membership now will kind of make that cheaper. Melanie asks, will there be an incubator village at the winter show? There will be an incubator village at the winter show. We will not be exhibiting at the winter show though. So you are able to go and see the incubator village and see kind of what your booth would look like at the summer show. Can you go slide? Thanks. Okay, so pathway 2 is summer preparation only. So you say, Vegas isn't for me, don't need to go, don't need to see a show. Awesome. Starting in February, we will be doing virtual monthly meetings to prepare to exhibit at the summer show. The meetings will probably be about an hour and a half long. The meeting topics kind of generally, you can see here, and it's just making sure that everybody that's attending will be prepared and will be able to be as successful as possible exhibiting at the show. That's going to happen from February to July with the show in June. When it comes to finances for this, we will be covering the booth fee for businesses that choose to attend. Your cost is going to be the membership and application dues for the Specialty Food Association, your travel, your accommodations, marketing materials, and samples as well. So they suggest like probably about 500 or so samples. And I know that at least one person on the call had been to the Summer Fancy Food Show prior. So if there's anything that I'm saying that is like egregiously wrong and you say, no, you need 1,000 samples or something like that, please feel free to jump in or like jump in the chat. So that is kind of the plan that's going to be happening with the summer. And go ahead and can advance the slide. So we, as Melanie mentioned, will be exhibiting in Incubator Village. So there are a number of different like pavilions or villages kind of within these shows. Some are just dedicated to countries, some are dedicated to states or different types of food products. So we'll be an incubator village. That is kind of like slightly lower stakes, like us as the Food Business Center are taking different people who we are kind of running through this incubator program. The kiosks in Incubator Village are relatively small. You can kind of see right there, there's like a little like 3x3 front table where you'll have your samples and your marketing materials. You have a back prep table. You'll also have access to a shared prep area with if you do need to do any sort of cooking or warming or holding or anything like that, you're able to do that. That also includes 2 exhibitor badges, assuming that, you and somebody else from your business will attend the show. And cleaning and a few other things. Addition to this, you will have to provide a certificate of insurance, which I'm sure all of you have if you are operating a food business. So just something to think about though. Some additional information about Incubator Village. Businesses are able to participate in the Incubator Village programming 2 times. Then after that, they assume that you're potentially ready for like a larger table, which is like significantly larger cost, thinking like in the thousands for a table. There's other programming, so we can also talk about that if you think that you don't want to do Incubator Village and kind of want to jump right into like your state's pavilion. They're typically, at least in Pennsylvania, and I've seen in other states as well, there's some funding available to do that through like your state's DCED and stuff. So if you need some of that connection, we can always help you with that. But you are able to participate twice. So thinking about how that's going to work for your business. Your business must participate in all 3 days of the show. So it is some pretty intense programming. So because of that, businesses are really highly encouraged to bring more than one representative. I think it would be really tough and like honestly like not fun to be the only person at your booth the entire time. Because then of course you don't even get the opportunity to see other things and view the show as well. In addition to that, we will be bringing lots of students and lots of help. We will have some master's students that can assist you throughout the show. So we have a bunch of food people coming. We hope that everyone would be able to provide like some general info about your business. So if you need a break, if you want to go walk the show, we have people to kind of babysit your booth for you that are like food people that get it, that know, that can very easily provide samples and provide information to people. All right, so if you do exhibit at a show, you will need to have a Fancy Food Show membership. So that membership is $300 a year. That application does include a one-time fee. So this first year, if you are currently not a member, it's $400. That membership is required to exhibit at the show. However, you do get into other shows for free. So if you say, yes, I'm going to go to the winter show and exhibit at the summer show, potentially getting that Fancy Food Show membership now is really great because then you'll get into that winter show for free, saves you $80, and that's awesome. In addition to, all of this programming, there's some really great benefits of the SFA. 2 that I wanted to mention is there's some wonderful data and research and trend reports that typically would cost you like hundreds and hundreds of dollars that are free on their website. So if you do need information to make business decisions, if you're writing a business plan, this might be some awesome data for you to have that you normally couldn't get cheaply or free. And then also they do press release distribution. So when, I think Melanie had mentioned that they just started a gluten-free frozen cookie dough. Awesome. So then you are able to then potentially get your press release, write your press release, send it over to people at the Specialty Food Association, and they'll distribute that in the hopes of getting some media attention or some attention from some different buyers. So I think it's a really cool thing to potentially have if you are ready for that type of distribution. So something that you will have to do in order to attend the Fancy Food Shows at all is have your business credentialed or have credentials as you as a person. The every category you'll see here, so like retailer, distributor, importer, et cetera, will have different ways to credential your business. So the easiest way to determine like where you would be is just clicking on this link, and we'll send you slides and this recording, and kind of going through each of those qualifications. There's a few that are pretty simple. So like if your email address is from your business website, then that's like an easy check. So if it's like Nicolette@myfoodbusiness.com, great, I'm credentialed, I'm good to go. Also, if I have a website with my products on it, that's another way to credential your business. So some are a little bit harder, but a lot of them are pretty simple for smaller businesses. So yeah, something to think about that, like, as you are registering, you need to make sure that you can have your credentials checked prior to finishing that registration. So if this feels like a lot, if this is overwhelming, that's awesome. That's okay. We are continuing this program well into the future. We plan on, in 2026, exhibiting at both the winter and summer shows. So something to think about as you are kind of like planning on all of this. Additionally, with the Regional Food Business Center, we are providing Business Builder sub-awards. So within the 5 years of the Regional Food Business Center, we have $16 million to give away for farms and food businesses in our region. The preparing for shows like this, paying for Specialty Food Association memberships, paying for marketing materials, traveling costs, any sort of other costs associated with a trade show like this is an allowable expense for this grant. So you still would have to apply and kind of like go through all those motions. You're not definitely going to get it, but we're hoping to get all of this money out to as many people as possible. So know that that's an option too. If you're looking at this and saying like, heck no, too much, way too much money, potentially applying for a Business Builder sub-award could be a way to offset these costs further. And when it comes to planning for that, the second cycle of these awards will open in March. They're open from March until May, and the funds would be awarded in time for the winter food show and beyond. So if that's something that you want to think about, definitely an option. We can always find other times to talk about that. And again, because you can do Incubator Village for 2 years, if you want to do it, this year in the summer, and then also also try to like get those costs kind of down for you in applying for a BBS for cycle 2 for the next show, you can always do that as well. All right, so if you are interested and this is something that you are into, I encourage everybody to, look inward and do a business assessment, because this really is a big next step for a lot of people. And it's intense, right? You might, you're going to be interacting potentially with buyers from some really big food companies and might be able to find some like really cool opportunities. So I ask everybody, before you kind of get into, yes, I'm doing this, is to kind of take a business assessment. So first, does your business qualify? Do you have what you need? If not, that's a good first step to get done. The biggest piece of this, are you and your products ready for this opportunity? So are you confident in everything that you have? Your logo, your packaging, your prices, your product variations, your quality, your consistency, your sales strategy, everything, right? Are you ready for this? And if you're not, do you have time to refine those things before June? I'm perfectly happy with having somebody say like, yes, I want to do this. I need to work on my logo, but I have 6 months and I got it. That's awesome. Come along. But if you don't think that you have the time to get all of those things in like a really great place, then maybe you need to do this like in the winter or beyond. And also, do you have the funds to do this? Like, I think a lot of people in other food business centers have been doing this programming. It seems that it ends up being about $2,000 to $3,000 in order to exhibit at one of these shows. Something to also think about is the fact that you have to get your samples to the show. How are you doing that? If it's an easy thing and you can carry a couple bags of samples on a plane, great. But if you have like stuff that you have to drive, like, how does all of that work, right? So just thinking through that. Do you have the means to produce beyond your current capacity if you happen to get a large order? And not even just the ability to produce that, but also the upfront cash that you might need to, ask your co-packer for 3 times the amount of product you usually ask them for, or something like that. Is your sales pitch ready? Because you're going to have to do it a million times over again. So like, are you prepared to do that? Something really important to think about is, how are you offering samples? Are your samples going to be prepackaged? Do you have to cook anything while you're at the show? Who is packaging all of those samples? How are you providing that? How are you providing your marketing materials along with your samples? Do you have sales sheets ready? Do you have rack cards ready? Everything that you would potentially need to send along with somebody that would, make a product decision for a company. And then finally, can you attend these monthly meetings that we're talking about, hopefully meet for some consulting appointments, and spend some time working on your business in the next 6 months? So if it's like, yes, awesome to all that, like, let's jump in, let's do it. And if not, we have tons of time, because this is just the beginning of this programming. So if you're ready, you want to choose your pathway. If you're ready to attend the winter show, the sign up link there is going to send you to the Fancy Food Show's registration page, where you'll like do the qualification, pay for all your stuff. We're asking to get that sent to Abby by the end of the day on Monday, January 13th. Just kind of send her that registration so she knows that you're ready to roll. And then there is a logistics meeting on January the 14th, just to kind of talk about all of those additional logistics to prepare for that show. Additionally, if you're interested in exhibiting at the summer show, we have a small application ready. All of that application does is kind of just explain or just ask for your information about your product, your business information, your logo, and things like that. We're saying application. We hope to take everybody that's interested in coming, but we probably have to cap it around 10 to 12. So, if there is a few other people that express interest, then we will have to kind of make sure, we'll have to just go through everybody to make sure we take the people that are the most ready. I'm not anticipating that. I'm hoping we can all go, but just something to think about. For that, applications are going to be due Friday, January 10th. And then we will let you know that if you are selected to attend by the end of January. And at that point, we'll kind of get everybody in a cohort. We'll talk about the best time and day to have our monthly meetings. We'll provide you all the information, and then we'll kind of start rolling with our programming and get everybody ready for June. And then again, if you aren't ready, that's okay. I would say the best thing to do now is just make sure that you're signed up for the ARFBC newsletter, which will then keep you up to date on all of these opportunities. That'll keep you up to date on the BBS applications that are going to start up, and any sort of other programming. All right, so questions. What do y'all have? What are you thinking? So by a show of hands, is anyone interested in potentially attending the winter show? Melanie, awesome. Amy, awesome. Perfect. And that's, I'm a Vegas fan, and I'm an easy traveler, and I have often found some very like appropriately easy, cheap flights to Vegas. So, jump on in. And then Matt, I don't know if you actually want to say anything too, since you had done this before, if there's any sort of other takeaways that I wasn't like getting to.
Yep, that's what I was just gonna jump in. And I attended the show in New York last year through a similar program. And the experience was, it was awesome to see, but it was overwhelming. And that's kind of why I'm here, looking maybe to go to the winter show, just to kind of take it all in. Because when you're working the booth, I just told Nikki this the other day. It was like the last day at the show. We're walking out, and I was like, there's a whole nother room in this place. It's huge. But when you did say about the samples, I think like 500 is probably like a good starting point for that show. We erred on the side of caution and probably had more like 1,000, but in my mind, it was, I'd rather have extra than be scrambling it like on the last days. But the $2 to $3 grand for like the first round for us we had like outdated event materials and marketing, like our banners. So we did redo all of that. And I think for New York with like accommodations, travel, samples, and getting new market materials, it was like, I think about $4,000 to rebuild everything. But with us, we weren't in the incubator village. We had a little bit bigger booth, so we probably wouldn't need as well. We actually had 2 banners we used. We didn't know how the setup was going to be that we didn't even use for the booth. But it was good because now we have those for future events. But yeah, I'm kind of looking at going to the winter show just to kind of take it in as an experience, not be behind the booth. But even like I said in the chat, there's definitely a lot of benefits from being an SFA member, and I'm still like it kind of happened really fast for us going into Fancy Food Show in June, so there's a lot to learn. That's why I'm still here.
And that's a good point too, Matt. For the incubator village, they provide you like a sign up top and then a sign on the bottom with your logo. So that's kind of nice too. So like if you don't want to get any sort of large signage printed, you don't actually have to for this because they do that printing for you, which is nice. It's like one less thing to have to worry about.
Oh yeah, that's definitely a benefit because they didn't have it we split the next size up booth. So we had to provide everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. It's a good place to start because yeah, the booths are smaller. Like everybody kind of understands like where businesses are in when you're in the incubator village. So yeah, you do get a little bit more hand holding and help, which is awesome.
Hey, Nikki.
Yes.
Who attends these shows? Are they buying stuff from us, or are they just samples that you give away?
Yes, so there are no sales that are happening at this event at all. It is only samples that you're giving away, and then the people that are attending are, you're gonna see co-packers, you're gonna see business service people, but mostly you're going to be seeing buyers from decently sized grocery stores and other like retail facilities. So those are the people that are coming to check out new products, to find new products, to fill their shelves up. So, this is going to be for people that do want to get into that regional, if not national distribution place.
Thanks.
Yeah. Hey, Matt, Carlos is asking about the sizes of your samples.
Sizes we used 2-ounce sample cups. Probably I don't know, probably only a little over an ounce sample. And that seemed to be enough to have 2 good chips to taste the salsa in.
And Melanie, yeah, this might be a really good place to find a co-packer, especially, if you are going with the need to kind of seek that out for sure. And then also during the show, which is nice, and I think that will be a really good opportunity for the winter show, is like there's a lot of really cool speakers throughout the show and a lot of people talking about either their products or there'll be like marketing firms talking. There'll be like a lot of other education happening too, which I think is really nice. Hannah, I see you have a question.
Yeah, hi. Sorry, first of all, I'm not on video because I'm driving around doing deliveries. So I didn't want to just unmute myself and ask a question because I can't see all of the things going on. But given that I missed a portion of what was said earlier because I was talking to my recipient, but for Incubator Village, I think my question is I don't know if it's who is coming to our booth, or would we expect to possibly have like a larger purchase request from like say the summer show if we are incubators? Is there a different expectation for the people exhibiting in Incubator Village than say like a standard exhibitor? So sorry if this was talked about, but I think I'm just trying to like set my expectations of what people are looking for in Incubator Village.
Mm-hmm. That's a good question. I do think that certain buyers are going to stay in certain places. Right. Just because like, if you're a buyer for like a specialty Italian food store, you're going to stay like in the Italy pavilion. Right. But I do think that in general, a lot of people are looking for like the next great thing. And I did see a lot of activity in Incubator Village. I don't know exactly who was coming, but I will say that I think that there is like a smaller expectation. So I don't think Costco is going to be like, hey, Hannah, I need 1 billion macarons, right? But I do think that like potentially a boutique store or something would kind of be coming down through Incubator Village and testing things. So, with that, if anybody does feel like they are ready for that, like, really intense, like larger national distribution, then we can start working with some of the states that everybody's in to see if you want to get into like the Pennsylvania pavilion or like the state pavilion. So I don't have a great answer for that, Hannah, but I hope that helps a little bit.
No, that's okay. That does help. And I definitely am not ready for somebody like Costco anyway.
Yeah.
But it was more so just to kind of like get mentally set for what kind of pricing or what kind of size orders should I think about having that all set up for, if anything, obviously. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to set my own expectations for how to think about who is approaching the incubators. So thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
And I was gonna jump back in because I didn't think I answered Carlos. Yeah, Carlos, I had the samples in the cups ready and the jars out on display, but I did have like bags made up with like sales sheet and contact, like more of a marketing packet with jars in it. I think we made up like 20 of them, thinking if there was an interested buyer, they would want it. But one of the things at the show is there's so much food and product samples that most people don't want to carry it around. So with us, it's 2 16-ounce glass jars. I think we only ended up giving out like 3 or 4 to actual potential buyers. We handed out a bunch to some of the friends we met, like it close tables nearby, but yeah, was not giving away many jars because like unless it was a good lead. And kind of with what we were just talking about, I don't know the difference between the incubator village or like the state pavilions, but where we were, we got everything from, like Nikki said, boutique stores, single stores, up to like store, like gourmet specialty stores that have a couple chains, to regional, national distributors and national grocers. So the whole spectrum.
Oh, and thanks. Yeah, Adam just put in who typically attends these shows and things like that. And I think as you get closer to the show, they'll also kind of let you know when like which bigger retailers are coming to kind of prepare for that.
Yeah, and that's just a list of, I think, some people who were featured in the Incubator Village. This was back in 2022, it
Okay.
looks like. But I went back in like 2018 maybe, and I mean, to Matt's point, it is overwhelming the amount of, I mean, there's a whole specialty cheese section that's the size of if you go to maybe a state, like a state food show, but it's just cheese, right? As far as you can see. So it's amazing. I mean, it is, I think one thing that is different about the Incubator Village is that it's very diverse. You know, it is, again, if you look at that list, there's a lot of different products kind of grouped in one area that maybe don't have a lot in common with each other, as opposed to the rest of the show is kind of grouped by types of food or specific markets. So that's something to keep in mind, when you're thinking about setting up your booth. But it's a great opportunity. I mean, it's overwhelming, but I think in mostly positive ways.
Yeah, I agree with that completely. And I think that that's why I was like really hoping that we would be able to get the programming for the winter show ready, because it is so much to see and it's so much to take in. And I think that you will ultimately have a better product if you go and see what's going on and, understand kind of the scope of the industry and exactly what's happening. I was definitely really surprised how intense the show was.
So has anyone here been to both shows? I'm just curious what the scale of size is between the winter. I know the summer one's bigger, but
I know Vegas is a little bit smaller, is what they're saying. A little bit less international. participation from that. But then there's also, Abby, what's it called? The change maker, tastemakers. There's like an influencer
Tastemaker.
piece of it.
Yeah, the Tastemaker Conference.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Thank
there'll be like a co-situated conference within the Fancy Food Show conference. Yeah, so if anyone has a food influencer that they like, maybe they'll be there.
Nikki, I have another question.
Yes.
Is there any way to find out who all in the same area of your product participates from maybe previous shows or in the show? Just to get an idea of what are the other companies that look like yours? For example, like the chai masala. Are there anybody else doing the same thing?
Sure. I think that once the show gets closer, there will be some lists. Well, and there definitely are, because like you want to prepare. I do think that you are not provided that information unless you are registered and signed up for that show. But again, then that'll tell you like exactly where people are. You kind of like, there's an app associated with the show, so then you can kind of go through each like pavilion, or you can go by product. So you can start searching for like places in Pennsylvania or places making chai masala or something like that.
Great, thanks.
Yeah.
So I just found a registered buyer list in the on the specialty food website. So that doesn't answer your question, Jay, because this is the buyers, but there might be a list somewhere of previous, not this year currently, but there might be a list somewhere in here of who all
Oh,
attended.
that's great.
Yeah.
So
You're killing it, Adam. Thanks. Cool. Thanks, Lisa. What other questions do people have?
I'm curious about the sorts of training and webinar opportunities that Craft will be hosting to support businesses as they prepare for food shows. Will it primarily be centered around sort of business planning, or are you guys going to incorporate things like storytelling and selling and pitching, that sort of thing?
Yeah, so what we have kind of like generally sketched out so far are 6 meetings prior to the show, probably about an hour and a half long, that will have different subjects, right? So I definitely want to talk a little bit about recipe development. We'll talk about packaging one day. We'll talk about like sampling logistics and like booth logistics one day, as it relates to marketing and things like that, and kind of just go through each piece of like what you would need to sell a product in this way, just to make sure people are prepared for that. Yeah, and then we have a consulting network that's on our website that we're hoping to lean on heavily during this process as well, in the hopes that everybody will take some consulting appointments with everybody that is like in the network to make sure that they're ready. And so like if you need a little bit more help with marketing or branding, we have a graphic designer that you're able to meet with, or if you want somebody to talk a little bit more about expectations for grocery stores, we have someone that used to work at a grocery store and then did a lot of the buying and stuff like that. So, kind of like a choose your own adventure piece to this, to make sure that you're prepared for what's to come.
Great, that sounds awesome.
Oh, thanks. So yeah, you are always welcome to reach out to any of us if you do have any additional questions that kind of come up as you're thinking through this. We will send out the slides and this recording and everything for everybody. And there's a question from Kimberly here. Can the general public attend the Vegas show? No. So you will have to have that product or that qualification in order to attend the show. Yeah. Cool. All right, Abby, Kirsten, am I forgetting anything?
I don't think so. I think that was it. Kirsten and I will be going to the winter show, so we'll be the folks sort of organizing like meetups and the dinner to sort of build relationships within this program. But yeah, I think the next step would just be registration and then applying for the summer piece of the program, right?
I think so. And then also please tell all your friends, if you have a farm or food business that you would think that would really like this programming, please send it along to them. You know, this is new, and so we want to make sure as many people as possible know about it. And we're gonna, you know, we'll continue this work. Like I said, this isn't the first, or this isn't the last of this opportunity. Cool.
Yeah, I was gonna just add in another comment. I was thinking about it. If you are at the stage where you're looking to expand into like retail distribution, meeting with buyers in this setting is a lot more relaxed than it. Like creating the connection in person is way easier than trying to chase somebody through email or trying to get to the correct buyer and get the right email and then create a blind connection that way. Like was a lot more receptive to getting follow-up emails post show than like just beforehand.
Yeah, that's a great point. This takes away the cold email or the cold call issue and puts you right in front of somebody. It saves a lot of steps.
And everybody there is having a good time because they're away from their desk too. So
That's true. Yeah, you get people in a really good mood, and yeah, it is. It's like really great energy there. It's really exciting. So yeah, that's a great point. Cool.
The
Well, hey,
oh, sorry, I was just gonna plug, Kirsten reminded me, in the new year, we'll be opening up our technical assistance appointments for the business builder grants through the Regional Food Business Center again. So again, to all of this, whether you are ready or you want a game plan for 26 or something, those resources are gonna come online soon. But I mean, we're available all the time too, so you can just reach out, but just wanted to plug that.
awesome. Well, hey, with that, we thank you all for your time. Adam, Matt, thank you both for providing information for us, for being like our link friend. Abby, Kirsten, thanks for all of your work as well. But yeah, we look forward to seeing you all, and I think it's gonna be fun. So we hope that you come along with us, and we're all able to do all this work together.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, y'all.
Thank you.